Newsfirst at 9. Headlines.
Good evening and welcome to Primetime News, coming to you live from the Newsfirst Centre here in Colombo. I'm Stephanie Lazarus and here are your headlines. The body of a father who pushed his two daughters into the river, fished out of the same river. Two orders under the Strategic Development Act tabled in Parliament. Indian Supreme Court refers decision on whether the Tamil Nadu government can release the Rajiv Gandhi killers to a constitution bench. Marwan Athapattu appointed the head coach of the national team. Let's now cross over to the main desk for a more comprehensive look at these stories.
Thank you, Stephanie. A very good evening, everyone, and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shayan Silva.
And I'm Arundhati Mudannaike. We'll start off with a look at your local stories for this evening. The father who had pushed his two children into the Nilwala river had killed himself after jumping into the river. The police say that the body was found in the river today.
Search operations were conducted in search of the father of the children by Navy personnel attached to the Gaul camp, following speculation that he had jumped into the river after pushing the two children into the river. The body of the deceased was retrieved after several hours since the search operation was launched. A manhunt was launched by the officials of the Disaster Management Centre of the Mathura district as well. Our correspondent said that the body of the father was found about 1.5 kilometers away from the bridge. The deceased was 39 years old and a father of 3. The father, who had taken his two children away in order to keep them at their relatives' home, had pushed them off the Mathura Mahanama bridge into the Nilwala river last afternoon. This footage was captured by U reporter Lalit Padmasiri from Waligama.
I was in the bus bound to Gaul when I saw a large crowd on the Mahanama bridge. I quickly got off the bus and came to take a look at what the commotion was.
The two children were rescued by soldiers of the 3rd Gamnuwatch Regiment.
We heard people screaming when we were on duty at the camp. We came running. The sentry on duty said that two children were thrown into the water. When we got here, we saw people screaming and two children floating in the water.
The rescued children aged 2 and 4 were admitted to the Mathura General Hospital. The hospital said that the health condition of the children has improved. The police say that the children are currently in the care of their mother.
Two orders under the Strategic Development Act were passed in Parliament today. The first order received 112 votes for and 44 votes against. The second received 109 votes for and 44 against. The Jatika Helorume, a government ally in Parliament, voted against the two orders. One of the orders was in relation to a shopping and apartment complex project and a tourist centre and related services project to be constructed on Glennie Street and Justice Akbar Mawata.
The project is to be completed in 2 stages in 5 years' time. The value of the investment is reported to be $300 million. The second order was in relation to a shopping complex and ultra-luxury 400-room project to be constructed down DR Vijayawardhana Mawata. The investment value of this project was reported at $350 million. Whilst the construction phase of the project is to be completed within 48 hours, a tax holiday of 10 years and concessionary rate for 12 years was granted under the order.
Several opposition parliamentarians were seen wearing black shawls in Parliament today. Let's take a look at some of the thoughts that were expressed during the debates relating to the two orders.
Crown Samaga.
The Crown Corporation conducts diversified businesses across the world. Some people are trying to give a singular interpretation in this case and create major opinions among the people. We did not hide anything from the people.
On Monday, the 23rd of September 2013, the notice read as follows: a convention center with gaming and betting facilities.
දැන් අලුත් එක බලන්න එන කියන්න අලුත් එකේ ඒක නෑ නෑ අපි කැසිනෝ දාන්න දෙන්නේ නෑ ඒක මේකේ නෑ මේකේ නෑ මේකේ නෑ කැසිනෝ දාන්න දෙන්නේ නෑ කියලා මේකේ කොහෙවත් නෑ කරුවා මිතුමා කැසිනෝ දාන්න පුළුවන් නුත් බදුවා කරනවා අපි දුන්නේ නෑ අපි දෙන්නේ නෑ ඒ විදිහේ කෑ ගහලා.
If this is being done with the intention of toppling the government by ranting about these things and frightening off investors, then I wish to inform you that it is a dream that will never be realized.
Minister Patali Champikaranawaka says that if casinos are established in hotels being constructed under the Strategic Development Projects Act, then the JHU will take a decision on the matter together with the people. He expressed these views at a media briefing convened by the JHU in Colombo today.
We rejected the concept that gambling enterprises like casinos have to be established in the country for economic progress. This is because the moral degradation that this would cause would harm the future of the entire nation. We kindly request His Excellency the President and authorities in the government to change this program and embark on a program that will establish a moral economy that will safeguard the future of the country.
It has been noted that hotels are being built here. We were led to understand in discussions held with the government last morning that they have no thought whatsoever of establishing casinos. They did not put forward any such proposal. The time has come to show a red light to this government. We need to steer our country's economy in the proper direction. We ask the government to reverse the neoliberal economic policy. What do they mean by strategy here? It is a gambling strategy.
Some have tried to equate this to people playing burwa or dice on the roads. They try to equate it to race bookies, but this is not the same thing. In the future, the government will be made and toppled in these casinos and not in parliament. There is room for a black economy of this scale to be created within these casinos.
Ratanathera voted against this order while you abstained. Does this send out two different signals?
No, there is no need to send out two signals here. Today, Ratanathera and I will be voting in keeping with our party's decision. If we involve ourselves in this, what will happen is that the project will commence and it will continue that way. Then there will come a day when the casino will be included. On that day, we will arrive at a decision together with the people.
Minister S.B. Disanayaka says that if the country is to progress, luxury hotels with casino facilities will be required to a certain extent. He expressed these views at a meeting held at the Kandy District Secretariat today.
In order to develop this as a trading hub, we believe that ultra-luxury hotels with casino facilities will be required to a certain extent in this country. All these casino owners started off with jackpots.
දැන් ඔය කැසිනෝ අයිතිකාරෝ සේරම පටන් ගත්තේ ජැක්පොට් වලින්. කොහොමද ජැක්පොට් ගහුවේ? පන්සලේ දොරකොඩේ, දහම් පාසලේ දොරටුවේ, ඉස්කෝලේ බිත්තියේ ජැක්පොට් එක ගහගෙන හිටියේ. ඒ ජැක්පොට් කාරෝ තමයි අද කැසිනෝ කාරෝ වෙලා ඉන්නේ. කවුද ජැක්පොට් ගෙනාවේ?
Who brought the jackpot system here? It was JR, Premadasa and Ranil Wickramasinghe, not us. It was the United National Party that brought all this thievery, corruption and vice to the country. We are allowing the foreigners to play at these casinos and are saving our children from it by restricting to the seafarers who come here. We are doing this to save the country.
$125 homes constructed under the Api Venuwen Api War Heroes housing project were presented to War Heroes today by President Mahinda Rajapaksa. The event was held at the CWW Kannangara Mahavidyalaya in Mallavapitiya, Kurunegala.
The purpose of the Api Venuwen Api War Heroes housing project is to build homes for war heroes who own land but do not have the economic strength to build homes on their lands. The Presidential Media Unit says that 14 phases of the project have been completed successfully thus far. 125 homes constructed under Stage 11 of Phase 15 of the program were presented to war heroes by the President today. 83 homes were presented to Sri Lanka Army personnel, while 27 were presented to Navy personnel and 15 to Air Force personnel. School equipment was also donated at this event to children from CWW Kandangara Mahavidyalaya and Digampitiya Piyaratana Vidyalaya. The President also declared open the Mahindodaya laboratory constructed at the school.
Former Sri Lanka Test captain and batting coach Mavanatha Pattu has been appointed head coach of the national team. Ruwan Kalpage will function as his assistant.
Issuing a communique, Sri Lanka Cricket noted that the appointments in question were for the upcoming tour of Ireland and England and for South Africa's tour of Sri Lanka. Mavanatha Pattu was Sri Lanka's 9th Test captain. In April 2011, he took up the position of batting coach of the national team. Mavanatha Pattu also functioned as assistant coach to Paul Fabres, who resigned from the position of head coach on Tuesday. Ruwan Kalpage, who was appointed assistant coach of the national team today, had previously functioned as the fielding coach since 2001. Kalpage was a talented all-rounder who won 11 Test caps between 1993 and 1999 and represented the country in 86 ODIs.
Former Sri Lanka national cricketer D.H. De Silva passed away today at the age of 82.
D. Hemachandra De Silva passed away today while receiving treatment at a private hospital in Melbourne, Australia. A talented cricketer who represented Sri Lanka between 1960 and 1970, Hemachandra was the brother of former president of SLC D.S. De Silva and former cricketer D. Premachandra. A product of Mahinda College in Galle, Hemachandra represented the Nomad Sports Club in club-level cricket. In terms of leadership, I can say that he was the best captain that I played under. Nomads cricket would never have ascended to that level if not for his captaincy. In the 1963-64 season, we were able to win the Sara Trophy under D.H. De Silva's leadership.
D.H. De Silva මහතාගේ නායකත්වයේ ඇතුළේ දිනුවා.
D.H. De Silva, one-time captain of Nomad Sports Club, later went on to become the club's first 11 coach. A former commissioner of the Colombo and Kandy municipal councils, Hemachandra De Silva was a loving father to 3 sons and a daughter.
Coming up on Primetime News tonight. Violence mars the Indian general election in Uttar Pradesh. More details coming up later on in the bulletin.
Moving back to local news now, the police media spokesperson says that a separate police unit will be established from Monday to act in respect of incidents with religious connotations. SSP Ajit Rohana noted that the unit is being established on the instructions of the President.
A number of incidents with religious influences were reported over the recent past. A tense situation arose at a media briefing convened by the Jatika Balasena organization under the auspices of Venerable Vataraka Vichitathera following the intervention of the Buddha Balasena organization on the 9th of this month. UPFA member of the Mahayangana Pradesh Sabha, Venerable Vataraka Vichitathera, faced protest against him as he arrived to attend a council meeting on the 22nd. On the 23rd, members of the Buddha Balasena organization arrived at the premises of the Ministry of Industry and Commerce in search of Venerable Vataraka Vichitathera. Also on the 23rd, a protest was staged against a place of worship that is being constructed in both Alapitiya and Gampola. On the 7th of March, the chief incumbent of the Siri Samadhi Buddhist Cultural Centre in Kaduwela alleged that a group of persons who stormed the centre had attempted to attack him. On the 12th of January, 2 prayer centres in Hik Kadua were attacked by a group calling themselves the Hik Kadua Bodupaura. Stones were pelted at a church located in Nambathanna on the 1st of January. On the 6th of March, an imam was injured during a clash between groups from 2 mosques in the Kuchaveli area. A group attacked a business establishment at a heavy vehicles and machinery yard in Papaliana on the 28th of March last year. A tense situation arose when a group of people gathered to stage an Adhisthana Puja opposite the Sambuddha Jayanti Mandirya in Tumulla, Colombo on the 12th of April last year. A church in Angulana was attacked on the 6th of June last year. Security was beefed up in Grand Pass and surrounding areas on a suspicion that plans were afoot to attack viharas in the area. On the 19th of December 2013, a certain group attacked a mosque in Kalubovila. A prayer center which was established at a house in Koswata Thalangama was attacked on the 5th of November 2009. A group of protesters, including members of the Mahasangha, staged a demonstration on the 21st of April 2012 demanding the removal of 2 places of worship established in close proximity to the Dambulla Rajama Viharaya. The President commented on these incidents during a meeting with heads of media institutions at Temple Trees yesterday. The President noted at this meeting that no one can be allowed to take the law into their own hands. The President also mentioned that a special police unit would be established to investigate incidents of this nature which have religious connotations. He added that the officers attached to this unit, which will function under the purview of the Ministry of Religious Affairs, would undergo special training. At a media briefing convened last evening, the police media spokesperson elaborated further. As per the instructions of His Excellency the President, the Special Police Unit will be established on Monday the 28th at number 135 Dharmapala Mawatha, Colombo 7 on the 5th floor of the Ministry of Buddha Sasana and Religious Affairs. An Assistant Superintendent of Police will be put in charge of this unit. In addition, a Chief Inspector, male constables and 6 female constables will be attached to this unit at the outset. If the police have failed to act on any complaint pertaining to religious matters in any part of the country, then complaints can be lodged with this unit.
The Chief Prelate of the Amrapura sect, the Most Venerable Dawul Denanyani Saratera, has reiterated the importance of religious coexistence. The Chief Prelate made this statement when he was visited this morning by Minister of Justice Rauf Hakim.
Minister Rauf Hakim visited the Chief Prelate of the Amrapura sect, the Most Venerable Dawul Denanyani Saratera, at the Vijay Vidyaramaya on Pagoda Road in Nogegoda. We must think that we are all Sri Lankans. There is no difference. The problem here is each of us think of ourselves as either Muslims or Sinhalese. I read the Holy Quran. There are 8 volumes. I have read this, and I have read the Holy Bible. I have listened to the criticisms made by this person, and I have read these books and understood them. No matter what religion it is, if there is good in it, we must accept that.
The Indian Supreme Court today referred the matter to a constitution bench to decide whether the centre or the Tamil Nadu government had the authority to release the 7 convicts in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case after remission of their jail terms. A 3-judge bench led by Chief Justice P. Sathasivam said that if the issue as to which was the appropriate government in law and as to whether power of remission can be exercised at all should be decided by a larger bench. A constitution bench in India comprises at least 5 judges.
The court framed 7 questions of law in the matter and directed the case to be listed before a constitution bench within 3 months. It has asked the Tamil Nadu government to maintain a status quo with respect to releasing the convicts as per the state's resolution of February. The court was adjudicating the centre's challenge to the Tamil Nadu government's decision to release the convicts in the assassination case. The centre had moved a substantive writ petition challenging the Tamil Nadu government's resolution to set all the 7 convicts free. The SC had earlier commuted the death sentence to life terms for the 3 convicts, Murugan, Shantan and Perarivalan, after noting there was an inexplicable delay in deciding their mercy petitions by the President. While issuing notices to the state government and the convicts in February, the bench had ordered status quo and fixed it for hearing to decide the legal issue as to whether the centre or the Tamil Nadu was the appropriate government to take the final call on the release of the convicts. The centre's petition has challenged the Tamil Nadu government's resolution to remit the remaining jail terms of all the 7 convicts and the communication sent to the Ministry of Home Affairs for consultation. It contended that the appropriate government, as stipulated under the Code of Criminal Procedure, was the central government in this case, and hence it had the sole power of remission of sentence. The centre also said that Tamil Nadu government's decision was in derogation of rights of the victims who lost their kin in the blast that claimed as many as 18 innocent lives. It said that the state was not protecting the right of the victims at the cost of selectively choosing these 7 convicts for remission of their jail terms, and that it was also against the fundamental right to equality, besides in breach of the right to life of the victims. However, the Tamil Nadu government claimed it had all the authority under the law to remit the jail terms of the convicts.
Violence marked the third phase of the general election in India's northern Uttar Pradesh yesterday after police baton charged supporters of the main opposition Bharatiya Janata Party BJP who were protesting against booth capturing by regional Samajwadi Party workers. A total number of 12 seats went to polls in northern Uttar Pradesh province with 188 candidates in the fray.
BJP supporters came out in droves in Firozabad district and staged a sit-in protest. BJP candidate SP Singh Bagal said that workers of regional Samajwadi Party made attempts of bogus voting. Demanding repolling, BJP supporters entered into a scuffle with policemen who were trying to disperse them from the spot. Inspector General Agra Zone Ashutosh Pandey said that action would be taken against those responsible for inciting violence. The country is now over halfway through its 9th-phase voting for a new parliament, with the ruling Congress party struggling to hold ground against the Hindu nationalist opposition. These elections have turned into a contest between the Congress party's Rahul Gandhi and the main opposition's Hindu nationalist leader Narendra Modi, who has been lauded by Indian corporate leaders and foreign companies for its business-friendly policies. Indian elections are notoriously hard to predict. However, due to the country's diverse electorate and a parliamentary system in which local candidates hold great sway and translating vote share into actual seats won is not always reliable.
The fishermen of Negombo are calling on the government to fulfill the promise made to them with regard to providing a kerosene subsidy for small vessels. The Negombo fishermen made this demand at the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Development today.
The fuel subsidy that was granted in the wake of a price hike in 2012 was discontinued towards the middle of 2013. Despite numerous requests to continue the subsidy, the government commenced a program whereby fishing nets and equipment were provided as an alternative to the subsidy. The Negombo fishermen who rejected this program obtained a written promise from the Deputy Minister of Fisheries during the past Provincial Council elections that a fuel subsidy for small vessels will be provided. A group of fishermen from Negombo who gathered in front of the Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Department office in Negombo today demanded that steps be taken to provide this subsidy without delay.
I see a revolutionary group behind this. I saw this during the discussions as well. When the people carried out protests that were spearheaded by priests, I gave it to them in writing that steps will be taken. We have formulated a program whereby an alternative to the fuel subsidy was provided, or if they were not happy with this, the subsidy could be provided. The funds have been allocated for this, however, the question arises on how to implement this program. We are at the moment discussing how to provide this subsidy.
The Newsfirst Sri Lanka Youth Around the World team, which arrived in Geneva yesterday, was entrusted with the national flag of Switzerland at a ceremony held this morning. The 40-day goodwill tour crossed the globe to raise awareness on the World Conference on Youth 2014 concludes in Colombo on the 5th of May.
Around the world in 40 days.
A number of youth representatives, Sri Lanka's acting ambassador in Geneva, Manisha Gunasekara, and the deputy chief of the Human Rights Division of the Permanent Representative's Office in Switzerland, Barbara Fontana, were among those who attended the event held this morning.
Sri Lanka having hosted the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting last November, we are privileged to host the World Conference on Youth next month, which will bring together different stakeholders with regard to youth and development from different parts of the world. The outcome of this conference is envisaged to feed into the ongoing dialogue on the post-2015 development agenda.
While the group was briefed on the upcoming World Conference on Youth, time was also allocated for the exchange of ideas. The focus of these discussions was youth representation in the north and east of Sri Lanka. Subsequently, the national flag of Switzerland was entrusted to the Around the World team.
Later this afternoon, the Around the World team will meet with members of the IFRC. Tomorrow, we will tour the city of Geneva to interact with the youth in Switzerland. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Ramesh Rugal Bandara with Yasrat Kamasri from Geneva, Switzerland.
You reporter Upul Mahesh filed this report on a dilapidated bridge in Apegama, Galle.
What you see is the Baddegama Borlugoda Galgoda bridge. The bridge poses a threat to the safety of the ones who use it, as the railings of the bridge are dilapidated. The Borlugoda Galgoda residents have requested the authorities to build a new bridge here.
Newsfirst reporter Upul Mahesh Apegama සිට
දෙදහස් 2014 වර්ෂයේ වෙනුවෙන් සීමා සහිත කැපිටල් මහරජා සංවිධානයේ හොඳම විධායක නිලධාරියා ලෙස SFM නාලිකා ප්‍රධානී රියාස්ටි සාජහන් හෙවත් ෂෙක් තෝරා ගැනුණා. ඒ රත්නලාන ස්ටයින් මෙතිරි සංකීර්ණයේ පැවැත්වෙන 37 වෙනි වාර්ෂික ප්‍රගති සමාලෝචන උළෙලේදී අද පසුරුවේ ජනාධිපති මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මහතාගේ ප්‍රධානත්වයෙන් උළෙල ආරම්භ වුණා. අප දැන් එහි දර්ශන වෙත යොමු වෙමු.
අපිට අවස්ථාව දෙන්න පොඩ්ඩක් අපිට අවස්ථාව දෙන්න අපි එහෙමනම් ඊ타මත්ම සුබ පතනවා අපේ සගීන්ට ජයග්‍රහණය අත්පත් කරගන්නට ශක්තිය ධෛර්යය වාසනාව ලැබේවයි කියලා ඔබ අපේ සමූහ ව්‍යාපාරයට ආඩම්බරයක් අපිට ඔබ ගෞරවයක් ඔබ සියලු දෙනාටම මේ ශක්තිය ධෛර්යය වාසනාව නැවතත් ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා ජය වේවා ඔබ සියලු දෙනාටම
And for the rest of the executive, just please note that next time you're in trouble, you're in front of the Satana Inquisition, okay? So you need to do your job. Okay. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this year's Executive of the Year award is Shaq. Your Excellency, can we please have the honor of you having you here to garland the winner of this award, please?
இரண்டாயிரத்து 2014 ஆண்டுக்கான வரையறுக்கப்பட்ட கேபிட்டல் மகாராஜா நிறுவனத்தின் சிறந்த நிறைவேற்று அதிகாரியாக SFM அலைவரிசை பிரதானி ரியாஸ்டி ஷாஜஹான் தெரிவு செய்யப்பட்டுள்ளார். ரத்மலானை ஸ்டைன் கலையகத்தில் 37வது வருடாந்த வளர்ச்சி மீளாய்வு நிகழ்வு தற்போது நடைபெற்று வருகின்றது. இந்த நிகழ்வு ஜனாதிபதி மஹிந்த ராஜபக்ச தலைமையில் இன்று பிற்பகல் ஆரம்பமானது. அது தொடர்பான தற்போதைய காட்சிகளை நாம் உங்களுக்கு வழங்கியிருந்தோம்.
Riyazdeen Shahjahan, popularly known as Shaq, channel head of SFN, board director of MBC, was presented the coveted Executive of the Year award of the Capital Maharaja organization for 2013-2014 at the award ceremony currently held at the Founders Block at Stein Studios in Ratmalana. Now, the annual group review and Executive of the Year award ceremony commenced under the auspices of President Mahinda Rajapaksa this evening.
So that's a look at News at 9 for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Arundhati Mudarnayaka.
And I'm Shayan Silva. We wrap up with a look at your weather forecast for tomorrow. Good night.
0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.